So, coming at you today with a Tony Robbins quote. Every moment of your life, you are answering three questions. What am I going to focus on? What does it mean? Or what does this mean? And what am I going to do? Focus, mean, action. Straight from the man, Mr. Tony. So, quick story that I think really kind of put this point home, at least it did for me. Um, and really just kind of summed it up and take it for what it's worth. If it's helpful to you and you can translate it, then fantastic. Um, First part of this quote: every moment of your life you're answering three questions. So back in February, CrossFit training was going really well, getting 2 days in, and yeah, just getting super fit, and you know what it feels like when you're in a good competitive training swing. I ended up doing a back-to-back day with strength, some squat cleans, some back squats, different things. I mean, nothing out of the usual. But then woke up on a Friday morning and could not bend over. My back was lit, and there was something going on. At the time, I'd hoped it was just, overdid it, something there. But that was back in February. Today we sit in June, and there's still daily back pain there. Ended up over a series of weeks going in, getting an X-ray, meeting with my PT, meeting with a specialist, and from what we could see, there had been a small tear in one of my discs in my low back. So ended up doing something in one of those strength movements where lack of mobility created pretty much heavy butt wink that created issues and a tear, and yeah, messed up my back. Now, why do I tell that story? Is at first, as with any injury, you're bummed, you're ticked, what could I have done differently? What did I screw up? And you can go down a negative path. Or as time went on, what I've strived to do, and I haven't done this perfect, what I've strived to do is what am I going to focus on? What am I going to focus on? The negatives of this? Am I going to focus on the fact that I can't train the way I want to train? Am I going to focus on just whatever it looks like? Am I going to focus on all the negatives and be bummed out and miss the opportunity here? Or and this is what I've been working on, is focusing on the positive, focusing on, okay, I gotta focus on my back. I can't just not focus on my back. It's there. I can't just go on like it's not. I can't continue training like it's not. It's gonna get worse, and it could get really bad. And so I need to focus on the right things. Okay. Well, what does this mean? Number two, what does this mean? I could take it to mean like, hey, you know what? You really screwed up. You weren't paying attention. Something happened. And again, going down the negatives, or I could focus on the meaning that, hey, you know what? Maybe this has been put in my life to avoid a bigger injury that was coming. Potentially, in the way I'm choosing to look at this is I have a season to take this to mean like, hey, this is going to make me better. This is going to help me improve. This is going to allow me to focus on things that maybe I wouldn't have been strengthening and working on if I had all my strength and ability. Hey, this means that I get to go through a tough, challenging season, and I get to even share this story with you. As we know, with CrossFit, we're always going to have potential injuries, tweaks, things that happen. And this is not the first one for me, but it's probably been the most major in my CrossFit journey over the last 6+ years. And my goal is to choose, hey, I'm going to use this and believe that this was given to me, that God gave me this injury to work through and to grow personally, and to grow so that I can help others who go through this. So choosing, what does this mean? I'm going to choose to look at this as life happening for me, not to me. Another quote of Tony's, and that this is going to make me better. And then I determined that that's going to be the meaning I'm going to take. Okay, what am I going to do? What action am I going to take? What things am I going to do? What plan and roadmap, which has over the last several months started with getting in weekly PT, and building the relationship with the gentleman who does PT for me. And we've had some great conversations. It's been awesome. And just learning about the lack of mobility that we're finding in other parts of my body. You know, I've been doing CrossFit for a long time. I have focused on mobility, but I can always do better, and trying to create a safe environment for my low back. You know, what else am I going to do? Okay, well, I'm going to focus on the things that I can do. I'm going to focus on strict movements. Right now I can't really hinge very well. It's getting better, I say, to report, and it's just going to be a slow road through this year, and hoping to be able to do a competition in the early fall. But what am I going to focus on? What things can I focus on? I can tell you, strict pull-ups have never been solid as they are right now. I've been giving a ton of attention to anything that's strict, anything that's not hinging. Straight up and down bike work has been fantastic, and just really choosing to focus on what can I take action on. And all of these things, with this experience, as I was reading this quote today and kind of going through some further study on it, it's like, you know what? I haven't done this perfectly, but this is what I've been striving to do with this back injury. And I want to encourage you, whatever it is, whether it's in your CrossFit journey or in life, every moment of our life, we're answering these three questions. What am I going to focus on? Okay, we got to focus on something. So are we going to focus on good things or not good things? Are we going to focus on what's right in front of us? Are we going to focus on the problem that we need to get taken care of? What are we choosing to focus on? There's certain things we don't even need to focus on, like negative things and whatever it is. There's just things we know we shouldn't focus on, and there's things that we should focus on. So it's figuring out, okay, what am I going to focus on? Like my back injury, that's right in front of me. I have to focus on that. But what is it going to mean to me? How am I going to choose to look at it? How are you going to choose to look at the thing that you need to overcome, the thing that's in your way, the obstacle you have with your training, whatever it is? What meaning are you going to give it? Is it going to be a positive meaning where you're going to learn and grow from it? Or is it going to be a negative meaning and where you're just going to go into a pity party and go backwards and screw up your mental state and affect those around you? And I would encourage you to give it meaning that says, hey, I need to grow. This is going to build me up. Whatever it is, I'm going to give it the right meaning. And then what am I, based off of that meaning I'm going to give it, is going to give me totally different actions. Again, if I'm going to be negative about it, my action set following that's going to be very different than if I'm going to be, you know what, this has been given to me for a reason, and now I'm going to make the best of it. What am I going to do? So again, I thought this was great as I was going through it, and just some points I wanted to take and I wanted to share with you. Every moment of your life is answering three questions. What am I going to focus on? What does this mean? And what am I going to do? Focus, mean, action. Great quote from Mr. Tony. Thank you, my friend. And take this for what it's worth today. God bless you. Hope you have a fantastic day.